Welcome in, one and all. I'm back, and if you stuck around after Necromunda, thank you very, very much. This is a Fireside Chat, and it's been a long time since I've done one of these, and if it's your first time seeing one of these, as soon as I find some music to put on, I will explain what it is that this is all about, and that's what I want, and what it is that we do. So first of all, it is time for Google Doc Simulator. This is a way to visualize what we're talking about. This is a way to keep me on track with what we're going to talk about. And the purpose of these Fireside Chats is to take the community's temperature, as well as discuss some things that we have behind the scenes that are either being implemented, been implemented, or going to be implemented in the future. It's a less frequent, less structured sub-day, basically, but for anybody. This is for the people who want to be here, for the people who want to take part in what we do, and it's a great way for me to get feedback on some stuff that I have planned. Usually, I have these when something is up, be it, trouble, or business, or, projects that are stressing me out. And that's kind of true, here, but it's mostly just, quantity. It's just quantity of stuff that I have to talk about. So I'm gonna make some quick notes, and show you guys the stuff that I want to talk about, and then we're going to talk about them. And if you guys find that Twitch chat is too restrictive, you can let me know, and we can go over to VC. But bear in mind, if I let you into VC, I'm live, and, channel rules apply. So keep that in mind. So some stuff we need to talk about today. Delta is mad about Necromunda. I understand why, dude. I do. And I saw your thing backstage, but I cannot give you a satisfactory answer right now, friend. I'm sorry. Anyway, I want to talk about the schedule. I want to talk about emotes. I want to talk about decisive action. I want to talk about upcoming games. And I want to talk about systems. I want to talk about fundraisers. And as an addition to that, I want to talk about value. Value for you guys. And after that, we'll see where the evening takes us. I don't want to do a 6-hour Fireside Chat. I don't want to do too many topics. I just want to get the major stuff out of the way and get you guys up to speed so that you can feel confident that work is being done. Because that's important to me. It's important to me to put on the best show that I can, to build the best community that I can, and for those of you who sub, you get as much value as possible out of this show. And these are some things that have been kind of weighing on me for a bit. So it's time to take stock. So the first thing I want to talk about is the schedule. As I always say, I stream every single day that my health permits me to do so. I split the streams in half. That, by the way, splitting the streams in half, afternoon stream and evening stream, was the result of a Fireside Chat. That was the community's thing. Prior to that, I just did 8-hour streams at a stint. And frankly, I'm too disabled to do that regularly, and I was paying for it. Splitting it into 2 4s with an hour in between has helped tremendously. You just spent 2 weeks not streaming an afternoon stream, kid. I know, but it's better than it was. I promise you that. So I guess the first question is, how do you guys like the current setup? How do you guys like the split streams? Video games in the afternoon, something tabletop related in the evenings. Give me your feedback. Would you rather I do more tabletop stuff? Would you rather I do more video game stuff? Would you rather I stream less? I don't know if... I've actually thought about this. I don't know if having a scheduled day off or half day would make it easier for me to stream more regularly. I've thought about it, and I don't have a concrete answer. I would like to stream more, to be completely frank with you guys. If I could physically do it, I would probably stream 10 hours a day every day. And I mean every day. But I just can't. And not even the, not even the caveat of as long as my health permits me to do so can get around that. Sips143 says, I like the content. The split content gives variety. Trishka says, I like the split streams. You're not stressing as much, and it feels like there's more content overall as a result. I agree. Especially because even if I miss an afternoon stream, I can still do an evening stream, usually. The problem is, not everybody likes tabletop stuff. Not everybody in this community likes the tabletop content. I'm not even talking about bringing in new people. I'm talking about, I have regulars. I have people who are here almost every stream who only watch the video game streams. And frankly, I feel bad for those people, because the afternoon streams are the hardest for me to keep up with. Birchman says also allows time for last-minute prep for tabletops. Yes, indeed. Delta says the split streams mean I can be around for more for things too. Yeah. On that topic, the archives. Delta008 has been doing a phenomenal job with our YouTube archive, and chat has been a fantastic resource as, I say moderators, but I don't mean moderators in the sense of keepers. I mean moderators in the sense of chat goes to watch something in the archives, something is mislabeled, something is out of place, there's a typo, something is not put up, they say something, and our boy Delta has it fixed within 10 minutes, not counting YouTube's bullshit. Quality control, that's a good way to say it, Birchmila. So, unless somebody has just an egregious complaint about the archives, I have no reason to discuss the archives except to say thank you, Delta, and I would like to extend that thank you from the entire community. Because the YouTube archive is great. But, circling back to the schedule, if you guys like the current schedule, I will continue trying to find ways to get up in the morning to be able to do an afternoon stream for you guys. To be blunt, it's my health. It's really, really hard to get up and do an afternoon stream. What do you guys think? What is the cutoff point? Actually, yes. What is the cutoff point for starting a stream late in the afternoon? At what point is it not worth it to you as a viewer to stream for only X amount of time? If I wake up at 4:30 and the afternoon stream usually ends at 5, should I stream for a half hour? What's the cutoff point, chat? Because I don't know. And my instinct, if I sleep in 20 minutes, my instinct is to just not do an afternoon stream. Delta says, I've always advocated that a late stream is better than nothing. Valid, but you didn't answer my question. At what point, at what time slot does it stop being worth the effort? Birchmila says, my gut says an hour, so 2. Sibs, on the other hand, says, I personally think a decent cutoff would be 3:30. Cookie agrees with Sibs, 3:30. So you guys would rather have a 90-minute stream in what is normally a 4-hour block than no stream. Tracer says, I'd say, speaking for myself, if I can get at least an hour of streaming in, then it's fine to stream. Less than an hour seems like it wouldn't be as worthwhile. Don't answer worthwhile for me, Trayscare. I'm asking what is worthwhile for you, the viewer. Cookie says that at least gives something rather than no stream. Outlaw says 3:30 or 4. Okay, so generally speaking, you guys are saying times far later than I expected. Chat says 3 or 3:30. That's a good, like, middle point from what you guys are saying. Usually, when I sleep in, I wake up at about 2:30 or 3 o'clock. So 2:30 or 3 o'clock, that's right here in the time slot that you guys were saying. So, alright. I will endeavor to do short streams. They may not be video games. Okay, that's the next question then, actually. Let's do this. If I don't feel... Let's do this. If the Bard doesn't feel up to doing a video game stream, such as a difficult game, a lot of reading, or otherwise something taxing, would chat prefer no stream? A different game? Have like a game on the back burner for off-stream days, or some kind of chat stream? What would you guys prefer? Or should the Bard just power through it and continue despite? Devil says a back burner game or chat stream sounds good. Birchmilla says karaoke streams, Kappa. No. Just flatly no. Back burner or chat stream seems to be the consensus. Okay. Chat advocates not powering through and either chatting for a bit to keep the community engaged, or having something easy on the back burner for just such an occasion. Okay. The return of mask off streams? Maybe, Birchmila. Maybe. Okay. Fair enough, chat. I will keep a note of this. And also, there are several keepers in here right now, and the keepers are gonna use this against me, so that's good. That's what the keepers are here to do. That's their job. So I'm all in favor of that. Okay. Fair enough. Next question. Currently, Wednesday nights and Saturday nights do not have a schedule block. GM prep is taxing, and viewership was incredibly low Saturdays. And hitting the books just didn't have the community involvement that it needed to be tenable Wednesdays. What should fill these blocks, if anything? Right now, having the blank spots makes scheduling open dice night much easier. However, when there isn't an open dice night in that slot, there's no stream. What would chat like? Throw out some ideas, even if they're a departure from the norm. If there's something you want to see in those blocks, speak up. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you even if I don't take your idea. I want to see what the pulse of the community is. What are we thinking, guys? Cookie says, are there any projects perhaps unrelated to DA or game streams? I mean, there's this. There's, like, Fireside Chat. I mean, I'm not against the idea of doing a Fireside Chat once a week. Just hanging out with you guys, taking it easy. I'm not against that, if that's what you're advocating for, Cookie. Trishka says, I'd say that'd be a good excuse for a back burner stream, or if there's nothing in the slot at the time, or just have some R&R for mental health. I don't think it's a back burner situation, Trisker. The back burner situation is when my health fails me and I need to do something easier. This is setting up a permanent or semi-permanent scheduled slot, of which I don't currently have one. And I'm not willing to play a game once a week in the evening slot. That's such a departure from everything else that we do. I'm not willing to do that. What I would like to do, especially on Saturday evenings, is I would like to get a talk show set up, like a podcast. I think that would be really cool. I've had some ideas. I've tried to do a podcast a couple of times and it's just not worked. For Wednesdays, I don't know. The other thing to consider is other decisive action shows, if that's something you guys are interested in. Shadowcaster says, I mean, I like the idea of extra streams in blank spots unless it's too much. I agree. The question is what? And welcome in, Shay. Good to see you. It's not a question so much of do we want something there, though I'm glad to see that's being discussed before we move to step 2, and more what do we want there. Outlaw says that would be cool. What would be cool? I posited a lot of things, friend. Shadowcaster88. It seems someone on the court has their eye on you. I've got your invitation right here. Your table is waiting, my friend. Welcome back to the Masquerade, where the party never stops, and you'll always find good friends beneath overflowing goblets. Thank you, Trayscare, for your continued support, offering up 163 gifted subs to this channel and giving Shadowcaster 3 months of Revelry. And thank you, Shadowcaster, for your subscription. It's support like that allows me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers. Outlaw says maybe a Wednesday DA and also a podcast on Saturday. I like both of those, but I'm not. Again, I want to take the community's temperature on that stuff. Cookie says Extinct Bacon, pardon me, says having a chat once a week wouldn't be a bad idea, considering bookkeeping is a good thing to keep up on. True. Jessica says podcast would be interesting. What's the read on Cookie's idea? Bookkeeping, like chat, taking it easy once a week, kind of like easing it. That would definitely be a Saturday thing. Like, I have Friday off, we play a game on Saturday afternoon, and then like ease into the week Saturday evening with a fireside chat. I'm not against that idea. What saith the community? Cookie says I'm all for podcast. N says podcast sounds neat. Okay. Like, what kind of podcast though? Like gaming news and storyboarding? How to roleplay? Discussion of tabletop books, maybe? Shadowcaster says Fireside Chat with a group or interactive games like Jackbox or something. No. With all due respect, no. The second part I'm going to pretty definitively put my foot down on. Community games do harm to me. I can't fully articulate why. I wish that I could, but things like Jackbox and Cards Against Humanity and Tabletop Sim they're more likely to make me miss streams than they are to help me fill in an empty slot. They're stressful. I do apologize for shutting that down. Trishka says storyboarding, shooting the breeze, maybe have some DA regulars on to discuss their games and how they're feeling about the way the story is going. Now that's an idea. Hang on. A podcast with DA players to discuss the games that they're in and build hype for the upcoming stories. That's a hell of an idea. Where are we at on that, guys? That's something I hadn't considered. Do you want gaming news on top of that? Or do you want it to be purely focused around DA? Because I am happy creating a news source for you guys. I would love to do that. Atlas is a mix. So, like, a segment on the show could be, like, DA stuff. Okay. I'm into it. So, gaming news, tabletop, like, rule set discussion, maybe? And then DA recap, maybe? Something like that? That could be fun. Okay. Podcast ideas, gaming news and announcements, tabletop news, if any, rule set discussions, highlight systems, EA, player guests. I can see that working. Do you guys want this to be rolled into the Fireside Chat? Do we want to make this and the Fireside Chat the same thing, or do we want them to be separate? What are we thinking about separate stuff? No, Triska, that was a very good idea, and I appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm sitting here so quiet, guys. I'm just waiting on your feedback, which is phenomenal, by the way. Thank you for it. Let's keep the process going. This type of show, these Fireside Chats, this isn't about views anyway. Like, I'm not here to be entertaining necessarily. I'm here to like be informative, so I can be quieter than I am on the stream. Cookie says, assuming both of them don't fill up a full slot, combining them wouldn't be a terrible idea. Richmond says, had to get up. What was the question? Do we want to make this podcast that we're discussing also be the Fireside Chats, or do we want to keep them separate? Triska says, I think rolling it into a Fireside Chat would be handy as an intro. Here's the thing. The energy of a podcast and the energy of these chats is very different. So I'm actually in the camp of keeping them separate. This is kind of loose for a podcast. Like, I'm not talking nearly as much. You know, the overlay is minimal. I've just got some music on in the background. Like, sure, this is enough for some people, but as you guys have seen, it's not always enough for me. Sardancer says keep them separate. Also, welcome back, Birchmila and Delta. Okay, Trash Care changes his vote to separate. Okay. Hey, AJ Draco. Good to see you, friend. We finished Necromunda earlier. We're hanging out and talking about some upcoming stuff on the channel currently with a Fireside Chat. Been a while since we've done one of these. It's good to see you, dude. Welcome on in. Virginia says it's also a different kind of interaction. With the Fireside Chats, you're talking to chat. On a podcast, you're talking to your guest host. Exactly. Yeah, okay. So to that end, do we want to do weekly Fireside Chats? Side note, do we want to do monthly Fireside Chats? And that way we can fill out the schedule a little bit more. Do like a monthly, like, community Ooh, a monthly community catch-up. That's kind of an idea. What do you guys think about that? Delta says one of the later streams could be discussing upcoming games people are interested in and what they want to see on stream. Homie. You're right. I agree with you. Look there. So instead of a weekly Fireside Chat, do a monthly Fireside Chat? Yes, community catch-up? Okay. Eddie Draco says, by the way, still alive, COVID is a pain. Well, first of all, good vibes to you, dude. And absolutely, Masquerade, if we could get some love for AG Draco, who apparently has COVID. Stay strong, dude. We're here for you. And hopefully you kick its ass and come out the other side totally fine. Don't give up, friend. That's rough. I must have missed when you said you caught COVID. That's brutal. As someone who is high risk and very much in danger if I get COVID, that's my nightmare. But stay strong, and we're here for you. Best of vibes to you, dude. Absolute best of vibes. Tracecare says that'd be a stellar as a monthly thing. Would it be ideal to work it in with sub day, perhaps? Whew, that is a can of worms. Okay. Let's break that down. If I stream something like a Fireside Chat, that is a wall of hearts. Holy shit. Thank you, chat. That's the first time I've seen a wall of emotes in my chat. Hell yeah. Thank you, guys. Anyway, if I roll a Fireside Chat into Subday, Tracecare, that would mean the obvious, second step to that is sub-only stream. And the entire concept of a sub-only stream leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I want these, especially with these Fireside Chats, which I want to be accessible to the community who may not be able to sub. Rolling something like this into sub day would mean either doing it on the Discord, which is again a sub-only stream, or turning on sub-only streaming here on Twitch. And I will throw it out since it's been posited. Is there a single person in here right now who wants me to lock my streams behind a paywall? If you do, speak up. I'm seeing a lot of no's. Tracecare says, I think I phrased it poorly. What I mean was going from the sub-day Discord talk into the monthly catch-up as a general thing. I can't do that either, because right after sub-day is Tails or Six Semper Draconis. Tracecare, there's not time. As good of an idea as it is, with a little bit of critical thought, it just comes apart. Unfortunately. Having them be related, I think is reasonable. Like, the Saturday evening before sub-day, we could do a Fireside Chat. I think that's reasonable. But having them directly related with the current schedule doesn't work. Unless, and forgive me if I'm about to put words in your mouth, Tracecare, unless you are implying that you would rather do this show than Six Semper Draconis. Which surprises me. And I dare say you would be in the minority if that's what you were saying. However, the concept of a podcast is a good one. The concept of a monthly catch-up is a very good one. Cookie says, I mean, we could keep sub-day as it is and have the Fireside Chat in the middle of the month. That's an idea. Usually I have to cut sub-day short, Tracecare, because of Tails or SSD. Usually, we're still discussing stuff in sub-day when I have to get ready for the stream. So, no, it is absolutely not feasible in that way. Now, Cookie, you said something interesting. We could keep sub-day as it is, the last Sunday of the month, and have the Fireside Chat in the middle of the month. Why? Well, the community catch-up would be the Fireside Chats, Delta. That's what we're discussing. Why, gentlemen, advocate for the middle of the month? I don't see what you're seeing. What is the benefit of the middle of the month over the end of the month? Oh, I see what it is. It gives subs 2 days instead of piling it all in at once, and then it would just be a lot of repeated content. That's the logic. Well done, lads. I see that. I see that. Say it in blue. Good to see you, Say. How are you, friendo? So Saturdays in the middle of the month, we'll do a fireside chat. And sub dates at the end of the month. And then we'll work on putting a podcast of some description in the usual Sunday evening block. That's a good plan. As far as Wednesday goes, I want to put another DA show in Wednesday. And that way we could do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just a block of DA. What do you guys think about that? I have some ideas. I want to talk about those in a later section. But what do you think of that idea? You mean Saturday evening? Yes, I meant Saturday evening. Thank you. But no, I meant Wednesday evening for the DA and Saturday evening for the podcast. Okay, sounds like you guys are into putting a DA thing on Wednesday. Now, that will take time. That's not something that I can plug in next week, but... Say It in Blue says a 4-day block of TTRPGs preceded by a Fireside Chat. No. The Fireside Chat would be monthly. There would be a podcast on Saturdays. And, to correct you, it would be a 5-day block. 6 Emperor Draconis, Shards of Eravane, Crown of Fangs, whatever we put on Wednesdays, and then Voices of the Mountain. 5. So, are you guys okay with me taking half days on Wednesdays for 3 or 4 months until we can get the art and the players in the game together for that Wednesday block? Because I don't have anything to plug in tomorrow. So if you guys want me to put DA there, I'm happy to do it, but it means that we're not going to have content on Wednesday nights, with the exception of Open Dice Night, for a little while. That being said, a lot of Odeons are on Wednesdays, so... Okay. I'm getting a lot of positivity from chat, so that's great. Are you guys satisfied with the schedule discussion? Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss regarding the schedule? I will read it off again. If there's anything you guys would like to bring to the table, I'm happy to hear you. This is your time just as much as it is mine. I asked previously, what is the cutoff point for starting a stream late in the afternoon if I sleep in or I'm not feeling great? Chat said 3 or 3:30 would be the cutoff point, which is an hour and a half later than I expected you to say. If the bar doesn't feel up to doing a video game stream due to their health, such as a difficult game, a lot of reading, or otherwise something is just too taxing, would chat prefer no stream that day, a different game or some kind of chat stream, or should the bar just power through and continue despite everything? Chat advocates not powering through, because that'll just make it worse, as we have seen, and either chatting for a bit to keep the community engaged, or having something easy on the back burner for just such an occasion. Something like Warframe, Monster Hunter, something that we can have something engaging and we can talk to people and hang out, but it's not the White Palace, right? It's not the Orphan of Kos. It's not whatever. Currently, Wednesday nights and Saturday nights do not have a schedule block. GM Prep is taxing, or was taxing, and viewership was incredibly low on Saturdays, and hitting the books just didn't have the community involvement that it needed to be tenable. What should fill these blocks, if anything? Right now, having blank spots makes scheduling Open Dice Night easier. However, when there isn't an Open Dice Night in that slot, there's no stream. We talked about a podcast on Saturday nights, a monthly, middle-of-the-month Saturday night Fireside Chat to catch the community up with things, and putting a DA show in the Wednesday slot to give a solid block of DA. And I think that's pretty good. Shall we move on? Shall we move on, my friends? Cool. Onward we go. So, emotes. Let me bring this up as a point of reference. 1 second, you guys are gonna see a black screen. Oh no, you're not. I can fucking studio mode. Never mind. Do. What the heckin'? No, this one. Yeah, that's what I want. I want you. I want to copy. I want to go here. Nope, here. I want to add a thingus. Browser source. Which one is it? It's this one. Badoom. Do. I'm bringing this over so that you guys can see it if you're wondering what the deuce I'm doing. Badoom. This is our new hat. This hat is a functional bit cup for tips, bits, subs, follows, resubs, all that stuff. It all goes into the hat. It is a new hat made by Lily Owo, the newest member of our art team, the Sketchy Characters. I like it a lot. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to all of my art team. If you see this, thank you. I'm thinking about using this hat in all forms of Foxbard-related art assets. Meaning any art with me in it, meaning overlay stuff, meaning logos, etc. To that end, as you can see, our little Foxbard emote doesn't have this hat. So, the Bard is considering emote reworks of non-cosplay emotes in the proper Bard Fox outfit. Celtic Wolf 25, tossing 100 bits into my hat. Thank you, Celtic. I sincerely appreciate it. Is this something the community supports? It will require redrawing of mainstay emotes. However, the configuration of the emotes would not change, to be absolutely clear. If an emote is a sub-emote, it will remain a sub-emote until the community decides to switch them. If it is a freemote, it will remain a freemote until the community decides to put it behind a paywall. So where are we at on this? And then I have a follow-up question. Should the Foxbard emote mascot reflect not only the outfit, but the proper markings of the masked bard, meaning me? The little Foxbard right now is an American red fox. He's a little orange foxo with a brown nose, white face. That's what the little bard fox is. That is not the coloration and marking patterns that I use when discussing the kitsune that is me. I'm a white kitsune with black markings. Would you guys rather have that as the emote, or would you rather the little Foxbard be their own thing? So that's 2 questions on the board currently. I would love to know your all thoughts. your all's thoughts, rather. Y'all's thoughts. Yins. There we go. Where we at, guys? Jessica says, so the code remains the same, just the look changes to proper Barn Fox. That's fine by me. I don't mind the change myself. Maybe you have the old look as a classic variation. Where would we put the classic variation? Triscare? Winter Dragon says, so the fox looks more like the lurk emote. No. The lurk emote is meant to be transparent like the Cheshire Cat, Winter Dragon. Celtic Wolf says, I mean, what about the mix-up of the mascot and the true fox bard? Simply put, Celtic, because that would be confusing and we need to have consistent branding. If we have two different characters, then people would be asking, well, who's this character? Well, who's this character? And frankly, I don't have that information. It'll confuse people, and confused customers don't spend money, to be blunt. Obviously, the end result is not money. The end result is to make people happy, put on a show that you guys enjoy, but still. Birchman says, are there slots for the classic in BTTV? I'm gonna say no, because I have a lot of emote ideas, and eventually I'm gonna run out of space anyway. Here's the thing to consider, guys. The small red fox is cute. Don't misunderstand me. And it has become the mascot of our emotes. But if I'm gonna be blunt, I never made that character. That character started as fan art. Twins Play Egg, a fantastic artist, drew the first fox bard on a whim. And I loved it, and I bought it off of him, but I didn't commission it. And all of the Foxbard emotes that we've made since then have used that original fan art as a base. I have permission, don't misunderstand me, but it's never been my character. Now, I don't mind making the Foxbard mascot different from me. I don't mind that at all. But since I have to have the emotes redrawn anyway with the new hat, like, should we make it its own thing and keep the orange fox bard, or should we make it a chibi reflection of me? Like, what do you guys like better? A lot of you are saying switch to the white and black fox bard for consistent branding. And let me be clear, that's not what I meant by consistent branding. Consistent branding could be either one. It could be the white and black fox bard that is like a chibi version of me, or it could be the red fox bard that is just the channel mascot. Both of those are acceptable. What I said was a problem with consistent branding was a mix of both. If you need an example of this, look at Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles the Echidna. There are a disappointing amount of people who say Sonic and Red Sonic. I'm just saying. Excuse me, having a drink. I wouldn't be asking you guys if it was a difficult business decision. Let me be clear. If it was I'm gonna confuse people, I'd be like, fuck it, hey guys, I'm redoing the emotes. I wouldn't be asking you if it was up in the air. I'm asking you because it could go either way, and I don't know which one you guys would like more. Say It in Blue says, whatever you choose, I say keep the chibi art style. That is a given. Like, don't misunderstand me. The style is not going to change. I'm going to go to PB, who is going to redraw the emotes anyway, because PB does all of our emotes. PB does the cosplay variants and the non-cosplay variants. I'm still going to do that. I'm still going to keep those. But, like, yeah, the style is not going to change. It's just a matter of, do we want the mascot to be me, or do we want the mascot to be its own thing? That's literally the question. Winter Viking says, so it's going to look like the Scandinavian mountain fox. Don't know what the best option is. It's both good fox and emote options. I agree. I think they're both good. It seems like the general consensus is you guys want chibi fox bard that looks like me. So he's going to have the hat. He's going to have the coat. He's not going to have the mask, but he'll be a little, like, white and black little foxo. Okay, so I will talk to PB and I will get that sorted. That's fine. Now, on that note, I have two more emote related questions, chat. Question the first. Do you like having cosplay variants of new emotes, and over time changing them to non-cosplay emotes in the same emote tag for merchandise purposes? Because flatly, I cannot sell cosplay emotes. I can make them, we can use them, we can have fun with them. Kitsunes or shapeshifters, I'm down for it. But I cannot, for example, sell a mug with the sharp focus emote on it when it's cosplaying as Aloy from Horizon. I can sell it with the little focusing crystal. You see what I'm saying? So, do you guys like the back and forth? I'm seeing a lot of positivity. Kreska says cosplay variants is good, and changing them into non-cosplay for merch is good. Okay, awesome. So, new emotes. So, here's how we'll do it, chat. The newest emotes, maybe like the newest 3, we'll have cosplay variants of. And then as we get a new cosplay, we'll get the non-cosplay back in. Cool? Okay. So, then my last emote-related question is, what are some emotes that you guys feel like we need? Do you guys, like, are there any emotes that we should have? I want a power-up emote. I want, like, a lot of people do, like, sharp cheer with, like, the power-up hands on both sides, or DMK horns on both sides. I like that, but I want my own. I definitely want a power-up emote. What if any other emotes would you guys like? Sharp listen. I can see that one being useful. I can't fucking hear, but I also have a habit of being like, listen. So, like, the Foxfart doing the Lin Beifong pose would be hilarious. Sharp giggle, I can see that. Yeah, Sharp Kappa, basically, I can see that. Nalvor has an example of the power-up emotes. It's exactly what I'm talking about, Nalvor. Oh, interesting! Like item emotes, Winter Viking. We can have that conversation. It wouldn't be a sword and shield, it would probably be a bow and a dagger, but still. I like where your head is. Especially when it says sharp cackle. I can see it. Okay, so we have ideas. We have ideas for emotes, so you guys definitely want more. I have one other emote-related thing. Item emote would work best as BTTV. Oh, absolutely, now, where I only have 5 official slots. Like, most of my stuff is BTTV. Though, on that note, well, hang on, let me catch up with chat. Triska says, sharp asshole for when you get bited by a boss and you feel like you almost had them. Like, come here, shit boots. I have a sharp chant for that, Tryscare. I do have sharp chant for that. Also, if I'm gonna do that, it's gonna be sharp bitch. For when we get, when we make the mockery out of someone or someone makes the mockery out of us. Definitely sharp bitch would be that, but also I don't think you can have swears and emote tags, so I don't think we can do that. Delta says I'd like to throw that in the ring at some point. Your logo? I want to do keeper emotes. I want to do keeper emotes relatively soon, Del, so we can have that conversation. Celtic Wolf says, I'd like a hype emote, so Foxbar with their paws up as they praise the sun. Celtic, do me a favor and do sharp cheer. Sharp bench, says Berchila. Maybe. I don't know how you would portray a bitch emote anyway. Yeah, fair. Although, now all I'm going to say is Foxbar with a Karen haircut. Moving on. Only the first letter is capitalized, Nalvor. There you go. So anyway. Sharp Karen. Thank you, Birchmila. So I do have one other emote thing to talk to you guys about. I recently found out that we can do permanent emote unlocks for bits. Oh, is your sub lapse now, for? Let me fix that for you. Although, Trisker might beat me to it. Let's see. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Gifting a sub to Nalvor. Something went wrong? Motherfucker. Did somebody beat me to that? Nalvor beat me to it. All right, then. Nalvor, I've got your invitation right here. Your table is waiting, my friend. Welcome back to the Masquerade, where the party never stops, and you'll always find good friends beneath overflowing goblets. Thank you, Nalvor, for your continued support, reveling with us for 16 months. It's support like that that allows me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers. And his resub message is, nope! Oh, that was good. Okay, anyway. Fair is fair, Nalvor. Well done. Shit. So, we recently got the ability to permanently unlock emotes at various tiers of bits and cheering on this channel. We currently have 5 slots, but there's something like 30 bit badge tiers, and I assume they're equivalent. So I've set up decisive action emotes. If a story finishes and it goes for a minimum amount of episodes, they get emotes. So right now, for 1,000 bits, you can have Rockham saying that the poster above you is doing a good. And for 5,000 bits, you can have Pierceable being very confused. I have the other Nightlights coming. We've got Sock'em Thumbs Up coming. We've got Lawrence Y coming. I don't know what Connie's is going to be. Brayton's is going to be a Lurk emote. My question to you guys is, what do you think of putting DA emotes in the cheer motes section and having them be paid but permanent unlocks for supporting the channel and our long-standing stories? It's expensive, but I think it's a pretty cool idea. What do you guys think? Hi Vader, welcome in. Rotate the older ones after time. That's the point, Delta, yes. Basically, what we would do is we would unlock as many slots as we can, and to be blunt, I'm going to need y'all's help with that. We get as many slots as we can, and then new DA emotes would go in the highest available slot until we run out of slots. Then we would push a game's worth of slots off the bottom of the board and move them into DA, and then move everything else down until we have slots again. One second, my alarm is going off. The keepers say that it's good for monetization, and I agree. Oh, I apologize. Vader said it. I thought Celtic was Delta, just reiterating what Vader said. That's why I said the keepers. But no, that Vader says it's good for monetization, and then Celtic is like, it might draw people into the channel. Agreed, 100%. So, you guys are... Whoa! Gets me every fucking time. Gets me every fucking time. Gets me every fucking time, Trey Scare. Fuck. Trey Scare throwing 5,000 bits into my hat. Thank you, dude. Holy shit. Now that I've had my heart attack for today, Trey Scare says, I think this ought to be an idea of how I feel about this. Fair is fair, friend. So that tells me that Trey Scare is all in for DA cheer modes, which is what I'll be referring to them as. Whatever I can say is like the Pierce emote with the bird. It looks great, and it's got a bird in it. Yes, agreed. So I'm seeing a lot of positivity. Like, is that... Now, again, that would make the cheer mode... That would make the DA emotes expensive. But you can build up to them, and they're permanent unlocks once you get them. So, are you guys cool with that? Like, if you guys are cool with that, then I'll just put that to bed right now and call it a day. We've got Braden Lurk coming, we've got Sockham Thumbs Up coming, we've got Lawrence Y coming. I don't know what Connie's is going to be yet. Now, to be clear, and I'm saying this to the Nightlights, so Birchmila, Trey Scare, Delta, Nightfall, Brightwind, Gamzee, if you guys are listening to this, your current cheer motes are for ITW. So if you have a really cool upsell from Parrish for your 6 Semper Draconis designs, that is lovely. But the emote slots that you have earned is for ITW. So they will have your old designs on them. Keep that in mind. Cool. Shall we press on, masqueraders? Forward! Decisive action. So, decisive action. Let's talk about current games. We've got Open Dice Night, which, in my opinion, is the most important DA show. Many of you may not agree with me. Many of you may not like Open Dice Night. We're here to talk about that. But to me, the most important show that I do is Open Dice Night. We'll circle back to that. We've got Tales of the Nightlights / 6 Semper Draconis. We've got Crown of Fangs. We've got Voices of the Mountain. And upcoming games, we've got Shards of Airwain. Huh? What the hell? Oh shit! Shadowcaster88 throwing $25 USD into my hat. Cheers, friend. Thank you very much. It says, I promise I'm paying attention, Shifty Eyes. Well, thank you. Thank you, the Shay, very much for the tip. I sincerely appreciate it. Potentially franchise? We have Strike the Band. We have Hard Light Hit. We have... What's some other stuff that I've been throwing around? Oh! Dracula is public domain. Old Norse is public domain. Shakespeare is public domain. Whoa! Extinct Bacon. Tossing 3,300 lucky bits into my hat. Filling up the hat with bits. Thank you much, friendo. It's support like that allows me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers. The hat is solid, by the way, thanks to Delta008, so if you guys get enough shit in there, it will pile up. Is QSI ever going to exist again? Thank you for reminding me. Quicksilver, Initiative, Greek stuff is public, etc., etc. Cookie says, new bit badge for me. Yeah, Sibs is making us new bit badges too, by the way. I think 1984 is public domain. Nice. So, let's just take this line by line, shall we? What is chat's opinion of Open Dice Night? I want the Masquerade's unfiltered opinion of all things that is Open Dice Night. And if the conclusion is, we don't understand Open Dice Night or why you think it's so important, we can have that conversation. Nightfall says, we're going to need a heavy bit tip token to make that bit explosion. Yeah, we are, but hey, the hat is filling up, so. Cookie says, love Odeon in its entirety. Well, I appreciate that, Cookie. Say It in Blue says, Open Dice Night, more like Awesome Dope Night. I mean, listen, Awesome Dope Night is not something we can talk about on stream, say, but thank you. Let me give you guys the spiel, just in case there's somebody who may not understand what Open Dice Night is. Open Dice Night is a concept that I've had for a while. It's something that I wanted to do almost as much as charity streams. It is a chance to get people who may not know anything about tabletop games but are interested in them a chance to try to figure it out and also fuck it up, and to do so safely. It's a time for new GMs, new players, and new systems to come to the forefront. And yes, tabletop games do take planning, but every month, someone in the community chooses to sponsor a game, and we help them set it up. It's something that I feel is incredibly important, and it seems like chat largely agrees, which is awesome. Tracecar says, Odeon is amazing and I adore the variety. I wish I could be there for the games live, but that's a matter of my work schedule, what we have VODs for. Yeah, agreed. Hey, Scottsmith, good to see you, friend. Enderbender says, I haven't quite had much of a chance or interest to watch a lot of Open Dice Night, but I greatly enjoy the concept and I'm glad it exists. And hey, you know what? That's fine. Like, if you guys aren't super interested in Amateur Hour, I understand that. But if you also are glad that... Whoa! Thank you, Star. Lucky gal. Star Dancer throwing 5,000 bits into my hat. Apparently you guys want the emotes, is what I'm seeing. Thank you, guys. I sincerely appreciate it, Star. Oh, it's support like that that allows me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers. Sib says, Odeon is awesome, and I think it's important to the mood of the masquerade. Agreed. Agreed. Like, again, as I was saying before Star fucking demolished me, was, yeah, even if you don't like Open Dice Night, if you guys are glad that I do Open Dice Night, that's a big deal. So, thank you. Also, Cookie throwing 50 more bits into my hat. Celtic throwing 400 more bits into my hat. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Birchmila says, look, when you give incentive for bits, you're going to get bits. Valid. Stardancer says, you've done a good job with Odeon. Keep it up. I will endeavor to do so. Interventor says it's time to get out the sharp break emote right about now. Yes! Yes, it is, because I'm losing my train of thought because not Shakira keeps screaming in my ear. Thank you guys for the support, though. I sincerely appreciate it. I knew the bit emotes would be popular. I didn't realize they'd be that popular. Holy shit. If I have an admin in here, make a note. The bit emotes are super popular. Heyo. And also people want to play with the new hat, so I'm into it. Saying Blue says not Shakira. Listen, I can't find out who does the vocals for Silver for Monsters, say. Some people are like, yeah, CD Projekt Red got Shakira to do the vocals. And some people were like, that's not fucking Shakira, you idiot. And I can't figure out who it is. So I just refer to it as not Shakira. There you go. Job done. Scott Smith tossing 10 bits into my hat. Thank you, dude. I sincerely appreciate it. It is support like that in all of its forms that allow me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers, friendo. Cheers. Any wonks. So, yeah. So I think Ender said it best, and with your permission, chat, I would like to make that the opinion for the record. Even if chat does not like a specific or even a series of Open Dice Night events, they are glad that it exists, and when it does strike their interest, they are glad it is there. Is that acceptable? Celtic Wolf says, I think the Odeon is an awesome concept just because of new systems and players' game masters. So I like it, but my focus has been so hard lately that I don't spend more time than an hour on Odeon or DA shows. Completely understand. The Shay tossing 220 bits into my hat. Thank you, Shay. I sincerely appreciate that. It's support like that that allows me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers. The Outlaw Otaku says, hopefully I can get into an Odeon, but shy. Hey, 2021 is booked for sponsors, and we've got a waiting list for 2022, so hopefully we can keep at it. Satan Blue says, sounds like an accurate reflection of chat's opinion. Agreed. Delta says, I need to go. Shower broke, and it's stuck with a constant full blast. Be back if I can. Take it easy, dude. Real life always comes first, 100% of the time. Cheers, friend. Nightfall the Kitsune says, I'm not really good at the planning and preparation stuff, so I may not be volunteering to run a game for a while, but having a wide variety of games to either volunteer as a player or just listen to is absolutely amazing. Now, I think I could speak for everyone in the Masquerade when I could say, good luck, Dell, and hopefully it's a quick fix. Trisker says, that's exactly my opinion, yes. Odeon gives so much variety that there's something that appeals to everyone in one way or another. I agree. I was about to do this, chat, and do this. Watch closely. Do we want to continue Open Dice Night? But honestly, I don't need to ask this question because chat is being very vocal. I think we're good. I think we're good. Winter Viking, fanning the flames of fandom. Throwing out 3 Tier 1 gift subs to the chat, offering up 67 gifted subs total to Winter Viking. Thank you much, thank you much. Red 5 by 55, Gentleman Jogath, and Dr. Sicario I've got your invitations right here. Your tables are waiting, my friends. Welcome back to the masquerade, where the party never stops, and you'll always find, good friends beneath overflowing goblets. Thank you, Winter Viking, for your continued support, and thank you to our 3 new masqueraders for your subscriptions. It's support like that that allows me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers. Though I think Jogath is not a new sub. Jogath has been reveling with us for 25 months. So, gotta be accurate with that shit. So many bit explosions. Yes. Agreed, Trayscare. Agreed. Thank you guys for the support. Holy shit. Okay. So, moving on. Oh shit. I fucked that up. Moving on to Tales from the Nightlights and Six Emperor Draconis. So, chat. Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Played the module Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Now we're in the Nightlights OVA while we get the art ready for Six Emperor Draconis. Are you guys liking Tales? I know we're like 4 weeks dry on Tales because of scheduling conflicts, but how are you guys liking Tales? I don't have a module to fall back on. This is all just me building on what we had from Into Waterdeep, and are you guys psyched for Six Emperor Draconis, which will carry our heroes into high-level play? Stardentro says we need to stress test the new hat. I mean, yes, and I appreciate it. Cool. I don't want to give you guys too much of what I have planned for Six Emperor Draconis, but suffice to say, I'm gonna be modifying Tyranny of Dragons heavily, as I always do. Do you guys like that I modify the modules and I don't play them as written? Is that enjoyable for you guys? Do you guys like my storytelling? Also, Nightfall the Kitsune throwing 500 bits into my hat. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Extinct Bacon says, Tales is great. Getting to see more Water Davians with the Nightlights is funny as hell, and I can't wait for SSD. Awesome. Journey Invader says, I prefer the modded modules. Thank you, dude. Thank you. So does anybody have anything they want to discuss about Tales of the Nightlights or the upcoming Six Emperor Draconis? I tell you what I'll do, chat. I tell you what I'll do. Fireside Chats do not get saved to the VODs. They get saved to Twitch for a little bit. They don't go on the YouTube, and they're not advertised. So, as a thank you for you guys being here and taking part in this Fireside Chat, would you like to see the art assets as they exist right now for Six Emperor Draconis? We have Lawrence, Connie, and Brayden ready to go. Would you guys like to see their new art? I need to put up the candle screen for just a second, but I will show you for the first time ever the Nightlights updated art as it exists. I don't have all of them, but this is what we have so far. Hi, Lily. Welcome in. By the way, guys, if you like our new bit hat, you know, the thing that you guys have been abusing for the last hour and a half, Lily Owo, right there. She's the one who made it. She's the one who's getting all of our other stuff updated. Boom, boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, well, first of all, Lily Owo, it seems someone on the court has their eye on you. I've got your invitation right here. Your table is waiting, my friend. Welcome back to the masquerade, where the party never stops, and you'll always find good friends beneath overflowing goblets. Thank you, Trayscare, for your continued support, offering up 164 gifted subs to the channel, and thank you, Lily, for your subscription, reveling with us for 2 months. It's support like that that allows me to do this every day for you guys. And now, without any further ado, I give you the art as it exists in its current form for Six Emperor Draconis. I give you Connie Gambles and Seergaze, Braden Coy, Warlock of the Raven Queen, and Lawrence Parnassus, Champion of Gond. Shout out to Parish Broadnax. I can tell you, chat, for 6 Emperor Draconis, we are getting Rock'em and Sock'em, as well as Wolf Rock'em and Bear Sock'em. We're getting Pierce of Alaverill, and because I have permission from Wizards of the Coast, we're getting Esvile Rosnar. Hell yes. Jessica says we're getting Esvile? Yep, I already commissioned it. Also, this is the official cover for Tyranny of Dragons that Wizards of the Coast made. We're getting a custom splash screen like we have for Voices of the Mountain. We're getting a custom one for Tyranny as well. I'm just using this one for right now. Vader says, I love how much older and confident they look, right? Okay. Okay, enough about that. We have stuff to do. Crown of Fangs. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Crown of Fangs gives me fits. I cannot GM prep for Crown of Fangs adequately. I cannot do anything in Crown of Fangs. To me, Crown of Fangs is the weakest show. However, in terms of feedback that I get, Crown of Fangs is the most popular show. So, I would like to hear chat's opinion of the way Crown of Fangs is going. Do you guys like Crown of Fangs? Do you guys like the difficulty of Crown of Fangs? The story? Do you want it to be paced differently? Like, talk to me, guys, because I've lost sleep over Crown of Fangs, and I really want to know what I can do to make it up to you guys. Also, I'm not asking, I'm just letting you guys know, one more active sub, and it's a record of active subs on this channel. Just saying. I mean, that works. Nalvor, fanning the flames of fandom, offering up one gifted sub to the community for total. Rukia for me, I've got your invitation right here. Welcome to the Masquerade, where the party never stops and you'll always find good friends beneath overflowing goblets. Thank you very much, Nalvo, for your continued support, and thank you, Rukia, for your subscription. It's support like that that allows me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers. Vader says, often it feels like we're not getting anywhere. It does feel slow. Okay, no, that's valid. So, Dungeons & Dragons, to be played, quote, properly, end quote, is divided into 3 main pillars. Exploration, battle, and social. Crown of Fangs leans heavily on exploration and battle. To change the pacing, to make it faster, would be to cut out a large part of the exploration aspect, which might be good, or it also might make it even more unbalanced. Nightfall says, Crown of Fangs seems like a lot of combat is really dragging them down. There's just a lot of combat compared to story. Right now, it's 65% combat to 35% story. I agree with you. However, Tomb of Annihilation is about random encounters. It is an old school module, and it's about random encounters out in the jungle. If that is something that you guys don't like, now is the time to speak up. But I am concerned that just skipping around in the jungle will make it less immersive. Now, granted, I can plan for Kir Sabal. I can plan for the Laughing Gorge. I can plan for Firefinger. I can't plan for random jungle hex number 25. But even then, I have concerns. I think there's an argument to be made in both directions, Nightfall. I do. I think there's an argument to be made in both directions. Vader says, I enjoy the combat, I enjoy the story, my main issue is traversing the map. We could experiment with speeding up travel instead of skipping around. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. The thing about it is, Kir Sabal does that. Like, to be blunt with you guys, Kir Sabal is a built-in system way to substantially speed up travel. Is this an issue that you guys want resolved right now? Or could resolving it in Kir Sabal and thus tying it into the story be satisfying enough? Like, where are we timeline-wise? Journeyman Vader says, I'm down for resolving it in Kir Sabal. What about the rest of you? What are you guys thinking? If nobody else has an opinion, that's cool. Like, I just want to see where your guys' head is at. We have been kind of going at this pretty hard. Nightfall says, I tend to prefer a lot more story relevant combat personally, and I'm fine with the Arakocra's city thing. Kir Sabal. Okay, so we'll sort that out then. And then there's Voices of the Mountain. I'm trying some shit with Vom. I'm trying some shit with Vom. You might have noticed in the last couple of episodes. I am diverting wildly from the modules, but trying to make it consistent and enjoyable and tying in to the things that characters enjoy. How are you guys finding VOM? Do you guys find Voices of the Mountain to be a strong DA show? A weak DA show? A middling DA show? Where are we at with VOM? VOM seems to be popular. Does anybody have anything they would like to talk about regarding Voices of the Mountain? I recommend catching up, Trayscare, because last week's episode was Halo meets Destiny. This is the part where the burp says, "Beg pardon?" And I go, "Yeah?" And the chat goes, "Yeah, really." Vader says, "I don't think VOM needs much tweaking at this point in time." Fair enough. I mean, the art needs tweaking, but other than that, no, I agree with you. The only thing that concerns me about VOM is sustainability, because the player characters in VOM are so fucking strong. You guys can handle just about anything. I'm actually thinking that I'm gonna have to start leveraging the action economy against you. Like, I'm thinking, I threatened you guys with army movements on Thursday, but the more that I've thought about it, the more I'm thinking, like, yeah, like the VOM crew could handle an army. Like, maybe we should do that. Not like an army, not like 10,000 guys, but like, you know, like 20, 30 dudes. Like, I think the VOM crew could still walk out of that. Intervender says, out of all the DA shows, I've probably seen VOM the least, since I often have a game of my own going on at that time, and haven't gotten many chances to watch the VODs, but from what I've seen, it's quite good. Well, thank you, Ender. I appreciate that. The Outlaw Otaku says the character interaction is fantastic. I agree. Nightfall says, Twitch kind of died for me. Well, welcome back, Nightfall. Good to see you, friend. We're discussing VOM. We're discussing Voices of the Mountain. The Outlaw Otaku says, insert pompous bird noises. Let me do this really quick. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. There we go. Netflix says, I appreciate that we almost need to find alternative solutions for some combats. If we want to succeed, it's a core part of a D&D that is sometimes shirked. I agree. But also, finding shit to challenge you guys is next to impossible. And I really think I'm going to start abusing the action economy and just sending waves of dudes at you, because I think you could handle it. I'll bring it up to the VOM crew, like, personally, to see if they're okay with it first, obviously, but I think I'm going to do that. Anybody else got thoughts on Voices of the Mountain, or shall we talk about upcoming games? Because we need to think about what we're going to do on Wednesdays, and we need to think about, like, where we want to, like, what we want to do with these games, if anything. Some of these games are 3 years old ideas that we haven't managed to get around to yet, which is fine. Like, I'm fine to just keep doing this stuff for you guys, but still, something to think about. So, upcoming games. Monday evenings, I've been having meetings for a while, And that's because we are preparing for, excuse me, hit my mic, we're preparing for a Shards of Eravane campaign. Shards of Eravane is my world. Shards of Eravane is my Faerun. I took a very basic idea from an old friend, like, more than a decade ago, and I've expanded it into something massive. It is something that I cannot wait to show you guys, and it's also something that I would like to potentially make a franchise out of. So we do, like, Shards of Eravane on Monday, and then, like, we do, like, another Shards of Eravane after Crown of Fangs, or whatever. The Outlaw Otaku says, still 5e. The first campaign, the players decided to play 5e, but the thing about Shards of Eravane is it can be adopted to multiple systems. It is a story setting more than anything else. And so, like, if people want to do, like a particularly talky game, we could do, like, for example, Blades in the Dark, set in Shards of Eravane. We could do Genesis set in Shards of Eravane. We could do, like things that we can't do in Shards of Eravane would be, like, Vampire the Masquerade. Or we could adapt the rules to certain parts of it, but, like, we couldn't do, like, literally, like, Shadowrun in Seattle in Shards of Eravane. But, like, yeah, it's designed to be adapted to the story the players want to tell. The Monday game that I have planned is going to be D&D 5th edition, that is true, but if we do more stuff in the Shards of Eravane world, it could be a bunch of stuff. I think it would be so cool to have two franchises. Decisive Action as a franchise, and Shards of Eravane as a franchise. Right now, the Monday game is set to premiere in, like, August, so we've got a while to go. We're still doing some prep, but it's going to be Decisive Action presents Shards of Eravane. But if it's popular and it goes over well, the next one will probably just be Shards of Eravane : Thingus. I am considering, and tell me what you guys think about this, taking a stream when we don't have a lot going on and just mapping out as much of Shards of Eravane as I can so that you guys can appreciate what I have. Is that something you guys would be interested in? Oh, that reminds me. Could I interest you guys in some backstage Shards of Eravane stuff? Nightfall says, isn't the map kind of broken and that's the point? Valid. Endybender 12 says, I would be very interested in that. Listen. For those of you who don't know, Endybender is one of my Eravane players. So beyond that, we have Strike the Band, which is... I want to do an anime. I want to do a music-based campaign that is like the hero's, like episodic hero's journey, like Pokemon Indigo League. And the way that I hit him on to do all of that was Strike the Band, an anime about a bunch of high school kids, or high school graduates, I should say, setting out to make a band, travel the world, like, win battles of the band, get enough fans to go to, like, the league, and eventually get a record label. It's Pokemon meets American Idol, Nightfall, is what it is. I've had this idea for a while, and I keep shelving it because I want music. I want music for this game. if that concept sounds interesting to you guys, if an anime about, like, a rock band sounds interesting to you guys, and that is something you would enjoy watching, may I posit to you, please, should that game have custom music that is, like, for the band battles. Like, a band battle starts, and we play the fucking song. We play the opponent's song. Like, if this is is that something you guys would like? Because I'm gonna be blunt with you. If it is, Strike the Band is years in the future. Because it's gonna be like $3,000 to get that amount of music commissioned, if not more. And I just don't have it. But at the same time, I cannot figure out how to make this concept work without music. Nightfall the Kitsune says no half measures. I mean, yeah. Like, it's fair to say that not all of these will work. What kind of music we talking? Don't understand your question. I'm sorry, Nelvor, I don't know what you're asking me. Like, what genre of music? All different kinds. Or is that up to the players? It would be up to the scene. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the band is called Tribute, and like, Tribute's music would be up to the players, but they would also, like, be fighting gym leaders, so to say. And the gym leaders would have their own sound. And I really think that to make that come alive the way that I need to, I think it needs music. Satan Blue says, I don't think we necessarily need full custom music for it. With respect, say, expound on your thought, because I disagree with you. The Outlaw Taco says, reminds me of an anime called Beck. I mean, yeah, it's not a completely original concept, Outlaw. I could think of 3 animes that do something similar to this. Off the top of my head, Shaman King, Gravitation, and Mirai Nikki. But Nalvor says, if the basis is music, you all but need original music. That's my argument, Nalvor. The issue is cost and time. If that's the direction that this is going to go, that means Strike the Band is going to be in limbo for a long time. Which is fine, but it's also frustrating. Like, and that's what this Fireside Chat is about. It's about the community's opinion. Like, if you guys are like, yeah, it's a cool idea and I want to see it, but I also want it to have original music, I want to hear that. And if you guys are like, that's stupid, I want to hear that too. And if you guys are like, I like the idea, but I don't think it needs music, which is what Say said, like, fine, but I want you to explain your position. This isn't me dictating at you guys for 90 minutes, which is going to turn into 3 hours, but it's about us, like, discussing things and figuring things out as a community. That's what we're here for. The Outlaw says, could you find non-copyrighted music? Absolutely, Outlaw. But with the focus on the music, I feel like there is an argument to be made that the story should still have original music. Non-copyrighted music for, like, non-band battle-centric scenes? Absolutely. But I still think that, like, the music being played by the characters for the story should be original. Say says, I don't mean that it doesn't need music at all, but getting full custom music commission seems like a big undertaking. It is. It absolutely is. But, I mean, mate, Arttober is a big undertaking. Like, getting a new computer is a big undertaking. Doing a charity stream successfully is a big undertaking. And we cleared those hurdles. We've done those things. I'm not saying we'll be able to do Strike the Band tomorrow, but I'm saying if you guys want to wait, I think it's possible. If streaming has taught me anything, it's that the things that you think are impossible, Twitch chat is going to turn around and show you that it's doable. Like, make a donation goal? That's one of my thoughts. Say It in Blue says, I'm down to wait, I suppose, so we can see the full glory of a show like this. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this concept in particular, if you guys are enamored with this band traveling anime tabletop game concept in the same way that I'm enamored with it, then yeah, like, it deserves to be fully realized. However, if chat disagrees, then you are completely entitled to disagree with me, and I want to know that. Strike the Band, without exaggeration, could be the biggest undertaking in decisive action history. Will it be worth it? Probably not. Those things very rarely are. But I still think it's worth the attempt. Winter Viking says, will the music attacks have extra sounds like the rest of the band is playing in the band, or will it sound like a guitar is solo playing on the stage? Not attacks like that, Winter Viking. It's more like Tribute would play a song and get rating, and then the other team would play a song and get a rating. And the roles and stuff would be determined either before the performance or after the performance, and it would be determined, like, there would be a back and forth, and it would be, like, not on the stage that the roles would be a thing. Like, I have ways around it. It's fine. But it's not going to be like you're thinking, unfortunately. So from there, if you guys are willing to wait, then I say wait on that, and then from there we go to Hard Light Hit, which any single person in chat can be forgiven for not knowing what the fuck Hard Light Hit is. Hard Light Hit is an idea that I've had kicking around for a long time, since before decisive action was a thing, and I have not been able to nail down the story that I want to tell. But basically, the idea is a cyberpunk sleuth story, like a detective story, like a noir, like cyberpunk noir. The idea that I have is Hard Light is like a hallucinogen, and like the story would revolve around either using Hard Light to like catch bad guys, or like it would follow the story of like a bad like bout of Hard Light. thus Hard Light Hit. I got the idea from a dream that I had, hilariously enough. It was effectively a still image. I woke up with a single frame, so to say, of a young lady passed out against like the booth of a restaurant, holding like a sci-fi inhaler, blood coming out of her mouth, and then like the flashing red and blue like police lights, and then the words "Hard Light Hit" in the Law and Order font. And then from there I was just like, that's so cool. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to do a detective tabletop story. And I don't know what direction I want to go with that. I had an idea of like Revenant style aliens. I had an idea of like Dead Space, but then that wasn't really the like sleuthy bit. And then I thought about like adding the sleuthy bit into like a wretched hive of scum and villainy that you have to like survive in because everything is going wrong, like a disaster showcase type thing, like Dead Space. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with this, but I wanted to put it here as potential concepts because A, we need to like figure out what we want to do for Wednesdays, and B, if any of this is resonating with you guys, I want to know. I want to know your thoughts. So does anybody have any thoughts on what I just said with Hard Light Hit? Because, again, I could push it down for later. Now, where it says detective stories can be hard because you have to create clues for the players. Yeah. I know. Nightfall says, I'm digging it. Outlaw says, I like the idea. Nightfall, the Kitsune says, the fail state is a cold case. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Nightfall. This one has been my white whale for years now. I don't have a lot for it, unfortunately. Oh, shit. My thing beeped at me, I'm not sure why. The next thing I have is Quicksilver Initiative, which is Warehouse 13 meets the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen meets like the X-Files. It is a comedy that combines mythology and modernity. Birch Mila, Quicksilver Initiative is something that I did a while ago, and Birch Mila was a part of that, and ever since that game fell apart and I've kicked around the idea of bringing Quicksilver back, Birch Mila has been like bouncy halfling for more Quicksilver. But again, I don't really have a story here necessarily. Let me catch up with chat though. The Outlaw Otaku says, regarding Hard Light Hit, LA Noire meets Blade Runner. Basically, Navor says, I know the feeling when you get an idea from a single thought and don't know where to go with it. Yeah, right. Nightfall says, I'm assuming it would be a more talky one. I don't know a lot about it, but would Blades in the Dark system lend to it? Well, it could, potentially. Delta says, Hard Light, a spreading pathogen that's dormant till mixed with a set combination of chemicals. At what point it starts mutating people to an exponential degree? Yeah, that's something we could go. We could do, like, sci-fi horror with it, for sure. Oh, we moved into Quicksilver. Yeah, sorry, Nawar. I'm sorry, Celtic. I can't read that. What? that's kind of where my head is too, Delta. We moved on to Quicksilver because nobody was talking about Hardlight, and you guys were like, oh, it's a cool concept, but you didn't have anything to add, so I thought we could move on. If you guys want to go back to Hardlight, just say so. Neville says, it reminds me of the concept of glamours, magic, and mythos is hidden from the mundane. People, until they are affected heavily by something involved in it. Yeah, no, I would be drawing on, like, Vampire the Masquerade, Fable Town, Warehouse 13, X-Files, Men in Black. Like, that concept, yes, Nightfall, but with mythology and conspiracy and... And then make it silly, basically, is the concept of Quicksilver Initiative. Celtic Wolf says, what does Menderate mean? That's not a word that I'm familiar with. Sounds Latin. But I have no idea. Which of those two do you guys think is more interesting? Hardlight or Quicksilver? Like, of those two concepts that we've discussed, which one would you rather have sooner? Hardlight or Quicksilver? Because to be honest, it sounds like Hardlight. Celtic Wolf says, you said Quicksilver was a mix of myth and something else that I didn't really understand. Oh, I see. Like, Warehouse 13, X-Files, conspiracy might be what I said. Modernity. Thank you, Berkman. Yeah, modernity. Whenever I can sense a story with Men in Black humor, sounds fun. Yeah. Chris says, I've seen the concept of the Fae intruding in the real world done in a webcomic. To see it done silly would be unique, and it feels like it'd be a nice lighthearted change of pace with QSI. True. Outlaw says, sci-fi noir horror or urban fantasy romp. Basically, Delta says, I'll be honest, I missed the Quicksilver explanation because I was focused on the Hardlight picture that came to mind. I mean, that just tells me that you're interested in Hardlight, Delta, which is good. I want to rapid fire the next 4 because I'm fading, to be blunt with you guys. I'm really tired. So, be thinking about Hardlight and Quicksilver. And then these 4 are just stuff that's been kicking around in my head. Paradise and Limbo is a world of my own creation. We did a campaign in Paradise and Limbo in Paradiso called Paradise and Limbo. I enjoyed it a lot. It was basically like taking heraldry to the nth degree. And making a whole, like, demi-plane around the entire concept. It was a lot of fun, but the game fell apart because of player scheduling conflicts. That is a world that people have said that they want me to go back to. I'm not against the idea. Dracula's public domain. D&D 5th edition recently came out with some gothic adventure stuff. I love gothic horror. I would love to do a vampire story for you guys. Vampire the Masquerade, Dungeons & Dragons, whatever. So long as it's, like, classic vampire, classic gothic horror stuff. That's something that I think would be interesting. I would like to hear what you guys think about that. Old Norse stuff, public domain, like old school, like North stuff, like God of War and God of War Ragnarok, like in that vein, I think would be cool. Shakespearean bullshit is public domain. I'm not the biggest fan of Shakespeare. You guys know that. Not really. I don't really care about Shakespeare, but you guys might. We can have that conversation. There's a lot of, like, Fae stuff to draw on with Shakespearean shit, and then Greek stuff, same way. Is any of this particularly evocative to you guys? Seems like a mixed bag. Some people are like, fuck yeah, vampires. Some people are like, Fey bullshit, Shakespeare style. Some people are like, let's see some Norse god fuckery. Okay, so it sounds like all of these have meat. Kreska says proper Dracula gothic horror would be baller, because it's creepy as hell. Greek 2. I've been diving back into Hades. Yeah, I'm gonna be dipping into Hades soon myself. Maybe roll the Greek and Norse stuff into QSI? I could, Outlaw, easily. Those could... excuse me. Those could definitely be a part of Quicksilver. That's absolutely true. Of all of this... do any of these, chat, Hardlight Hit, Quicksilver Initiative, Paradise and Limbo, any of this more ethereal stuff that we haven't really pinned down yet, does any of this make you go, I want this on Wednesday? And if so, which one? We've already established we want a block of DA stuff on Wednesdays. We've already established that we might have more Shards of Erebane stuff. That's also an option. But are any of these, like, that's the Wednesday slot? I want that one. I got one vote for Hardlight out of the gate. Outlaw says I'm split between Hardlight and QSI. Okay. That's 2 votes for Hardlight. 3 votes for Hardlight, 2 for QSI. And it matters just nothing leaping out at me as in I need this immediately, but most of these ideas are quite intriguing. Fair. QSI for me says Celtic. So, okay, 3 for 3, Hardlight and QSI. So from that, I'm going to take these other ones out of the running for now. I would love to do a vampire thing, but of these 2, chat... Okay, so Nightfall is leading QSI, Vader is going Hardlight, Star is going QSI, so QSI is in the lead by 1. QSI is at 5, Hardlight's at... No, QSI is at 6, Hardlight's at 4. Or 5. I already got you down for Hardlight, Delta, but thank you. Okay, so... Let's do this, because chat is split, and I don't want to make any decision when I'm tired anyway. What I'm hearing is, chat writ large will be satisfied with either of these 2. Is that fair to say, chat? Either of these 2 on a Wednesday game as soon as possible would be something you guys would like to see. Is that fair? Cool. I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Okay. I'm fading fast, but I have a couple other things that I need to talk to you guys about, and it's really, really important that I get through these. So thank you guys for bearing with me. I know we're running really long. I know I'm getting really tired. Let's bust this out. So upcoming games and systems. I cannot confirm anything. However, I might be getting a PS5 very soon. Which is a big deal. Let's do if PS5, if no PS5, right? So if PS5, this one is easy, right? Demon Souls, Miles Morales, Horizon 2, right? Easy, easy, easy. If no PS5, where are we at? I'm thinking Hades for the Switch. I'm thinking reshoot of Dishonored, maybe? 1 and 2. I'm thinking... Pokemon, maybe? What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see? Like, throw some stuff out. We have a whole docket of research. True, we do. Dead Space. 1 to 3. That's one we have to do. Which Pokemon? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I enjoy Pokemon. I never played it on stream because Nintendo was being a fuck for several years. And then when they stopped being a fuck, that was great, but I've just had other stuff to play. Anything else people want to see? I'm seeing Pokemon. I'm seeing remade Mystery Dungeon. We need to do the Surge 1 and 2. These are like reshoots, though. Is there anything like newly released that you guys want to see? Oh, if PS5 Ragnarok. Kana, Bridge of Spirits. Or Kenna? Is her name Kenna? I don't remember. Yakuza. We need to do Yakuza. What are we up to, chat? Yakuza 4? I think we need to do 4. I'm definitely gonna do Like a Dragon. Trayscare, but I'm gonna do Like a Dragon after we finish the mainline games. Delta says Cyberpunk when it gets fixed. I'm gonna be honest, Delta. Irrelevant of it being fixed or not, Cyberpunk does not look like a game that I would enjoy. I have watched quite a lot of Cyberpunk. I've researched it for the sake of the channel. Completely disregarding the bugs and stuff in it, I sincerely think I would get bored. Little Nightmares 1 and 2, yep. Ni no Kuni? Ni no Kuni, we could do... The Oddworld games. If people want to see it, sure. I don't know enough about Oddworld to know if I would enjoy it. Outlaw says, to me, Cyberpunk is a sci-fi GTA. It kind of is. It's a really well-realized Shadowrun game. It's just... Again, to be clear, what I am criticizing Cyberpunk about has nothing to do with the work CD Projekt Red is doing. I just... In my research of Cyberpunk, I was like, this is boring. Like, again, strictly for me. Like, in the same way that I find GTA boring. In the same way that I find Call of Duty boring. In the same way that I find Overwatch boring. Like... Gameplay loop not doing it for you. Exactly, Birchmila. To be frank, Cyberpunk looks good. Like, yes, it needs some bug fixes. Yes, that is valid. I think the media's kind of been all over the place with Cyberpunk. Sometimes they've been too heavy, sometimes they've been too light. I'm not here to bitch about Cyberpunk for another 90 minutes, whatever. I'm not here for that. I don't care. And what I'm saying has nothing to do with any of that. I'm just saying, strictly for me, if I sat down and played Cyberpunk, I probably wouldn't enjoy it for very long. I'd probably enjoy it for like a couple hours, but I don't think I would play it all the way through. The coolest part of Cyberpunk 2077 is there's a slum-like area in part of the game controlled by a very specific gang, and they are really, really cool, but they get like a half-hour screen time. It's not great. But hang on. Ghost DLC, that's a thing. Final Fantasy 15 reshoot. We need to do. Thank you, Outlaw. Trisker says, you'd prefer more Shadowrun style in terms of story then. Yes and no. Shadowrun style and Cyberpunk style are identical. The only difference between the two of them is that Shadowrun has magic and Cyberpunk does not, and that changes the gameplay loop. But no, I think, like, in terms of story beats and world design, they're identical to me, and they're both interesting. But the game, Cyberpunk 2077, is a first-person shooter at the end of the day, and the story is good, but it would be better if I was a fan of the genre, and I'm not. Go ahead, Nightfall. Nightfall says I have an off-topic question. Delta says, from what I've seen, It Takes Two looks interesting, but that's strictly co-op. Maybe for October. Nightfall says, so how exactly does this work, redeeming the name generator for 50k? So what happens, Nightfall, is you redeem that, redeem the 50k fragments of lore for the name generator, and then you choose a tabletop game that I'm playing or running, and then you give me a name to use for something, and I have veto privileges, obviously, and, you know, you can suggest what it's for, but I might use it for something else. That's what that is. So, what do you guys really, really, really want to see? Like, Ratchet & Clank? Yeah, Ratchet & Clank is on my list of something I want to do. Like, I need something to play tomorrow, flatly. If we start Hades, for example, and I get a PS5 the middle of next week, that's gonna suck. Hades is gonna take a long time. I'm down to play Hades for a while. Are you guys down to play Hades for a while? Or would you, if I have a line on a PS5, would you rather play something shorter, cough cough Dead Space, and then pick up, like, Miles Morales for some feel-good web-slinging action afterwards? Or what's the play? What do you guys want to see? Would you switch to Hades on PS5? It's on PS5? I thought it was only on Switch and PC. Wait a minute, back up. Hades is on PS5? Excuse? Delta says, I'll scream Mechanicus till my throat gets sore, but not directly after Necromunda. Well, yes! Like, no, not directly after Necromunda. Nightfall says, I was joking. Help. I mean, okay. Cool. So, yeah, so do you guys want, like, what do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see, like, do you want to strap in and do a long run of Hades? Or are you guys really hyped for the PS5 stuff, and you want to do something shorter in the meantime? What do you guys want to do? Like, let me know. Because I need to know, because I need something to play tomorrow. Treshko says, I'd say shorter on the off chance you get the PS5. Maybe the Little Nightmares set. No. If I'm going to do something shorter, I'm going to do Dead Space. I'm going to get Dead Space out of the way. We'll do Dead Space 1 and 2 over the course of this week, and then take a breather with the PS5 if I get it, and play like Miles Morales. I am dreading having to replay Dead Space 1, and I really need to get it out of the way for the sake of my health, to be blunt. Dead Space 1 fucks with my health. Nightfall says, Dead Space may fuck you up, Bard. Are you sure? No. Nightfall. Dead Space will fuck me up. But also, thinking about how it will fuck me up is going to be worse than getting it over with. Okay. So the plan, from what it's looking like with chat, the plan is a reshoot of Dead Space 1 and 2. If I get the PS5, great. If not, we'll do Dead Space 3 with Delta, and then go from there. What do you guys think? And then if we get the PS5, we can do Miles Morales, and then we can do Demon Souls, and then we'll see what the releases are like after that. We can also just never touch it with a 10-foot pole for your sanity. Here's the thing, Nightfall, right? Like, to be blunt with you, homie, Dead Space 2 is one of the greatest games of all time. Full stop. Dead Space 1, the only issue I have with Dead Space 1, I like Dead Space 1. Dead Space 1, it's awesome. The issue that I have with it is it's a little bit heavy-handed with the infrasound. But here's the thing. I got chat. And chat can help me through it. It'll be fine. I appreciate the for my sanity argument, but here's the thing. Dead Space is a good fucking game, and a good fucking story. Like, I like Dead Space. I like Dead Space a lot. Visceral made something amazing, and then they completely got shot in the back of the head by EA, and it is a travesty. And Dead Space is a masterpiece. And I want to be able to show it to you guys. I want to be able to show you my take on it. And the fucking archive got corrupted. So, like, that's what the reshoots are about. Like, look, Dead Space is not going to fuck with me. I've already beaten it once. I can do it again. It's just the infrasound's a little bit much. And I mean, worst case scenario, I take my headset off. I keep talking to chat. Chat can still hear the awesome Dead Space sound stuff. And I can take a breather. Like, I fully believe that the sooner I get it out of the way, the better I will feel. Like, I feel like the dread of going into Dead Space is going to be much, much worse than actually playing Dead Space. And Dead Space 2, to be blunt, is just fun. Like, Dead Space 2 is just fun. There is a part of Dead Space 2 where the player is compelled to sing Guns N' Roses. And if you don't, there's something wrong with your head. Were you Scott Smith? No, you weren't gifted a sub, friend. At least not on my side. I haven't gotten an alert about it. Oh. Was that laggy? Okay. Scotsmith, it seems someone on the court has their eye on you. Got your invitation right here. Your tale is waiting, my friend. Welcome back to the masquerade where the party never stops, and you'll always find good friends beneath overflowing goblets. Thank you, Tracecare, for your continued support, offering up 165 gifted subs to this channel, and thank you, Scotsmith, for your subscription, reveling with us for 19 months. It's support like that that allows me to do this every day for you guys. Cheers. Delta008 says that my vote is Dead Space, despite how I'll dread going through 3. I mean, you'll have me with you. It'll be fine. Also, Dead Space 3 is the least scary of the 3, so it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so the plan is Dead Space 1 and 2 this week. If I get a PS5, great. We'll swing around with Miles Morales, have some fun. If not, we'll do Dead Space 3 with Delta, and go from there. That sounds like a great idea. Okay, moving on because I'm tired. Fundraisers. I don't like talking about money. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have the spoons to talk about money. Would anyone object to saving this for the next Fireside Chat and or sub day? Do we need to talk about fundraisers right now? Does anybody feel like they're not getting the value of their subs? Does anybody feel like I'm not doing enough to justify the money that you're throwing at my face? I would love to hear your arguments, even if you need to PM them to me. That's fine. Otherwise, I would like to leave this for next time, because I'm tired, frankly. But again, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Alright, chat is definitively saying, leave it lie. Okay, fair enough, guys. Fair enough. Then that's gonna be me done. This has been our Fireside Chat for April 17th, 2021. And if you're new around here, I'd like to take your attention for just a moment, if I may. I am the Sharp-Eyed Kitsune, the teller of tales and the weaver of mysteries, the masked bard. This is a channel that is devoted to lore and storytelling, world-building, role-playing, and discussions of those things. So if that's to your fancy, you're in excellent company here, and I do hope that you enjoyed your time with us. This has been a Fireside Chat, which will seemingly be a fairly regular occurrence here on the channel, with a few months to get it up to speed, where we just hang out with the community, talk about stuff, and like go from there. It's a chance to keep stock on the channel and for me to figure out what it is that you guys want to do. I will be back tomorrow with a reshoot of Dead Space 1 in the afternoon, and the return of Tales of the Nightlights in the evening, which is our tabletop story. Stop by if you like tabletop role-playing games, or if you don't know if you like tabletop role-playing games, we'd love to have you. For now, I need to get out of here, but when I do, I'll be hosting someone. It's someone who I like, someone who I hope that you all will like. It can spread some of the love that was felt here today over on their channel. And check back here, because I'm always hosting someone, and you might find your new favorite streamer that way. For now, as ever, it's time to close the book on today and leave you with these parting words. From myself, my keepers, and those joining me on the stage this evening, to all of you, the regulars, the followers, the newcomers, and the lurkers. Whether you're just having a seat by the fire or you've got a running tab at the bar, remember, there's always more stories to tell. And hopefully, I'll see you all next time for another Fireside Chat or our regularly scheduled content and a new chapter. Good night, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hope to see you again soon.